The day before the college entrance exam, the class beauty had her birthday. The class monitor's boyfriend, Gu Qingzhou, suggested that the whole class go to a bar to celebrate her birthday and also to boost morale for the upcoming exam. Surprisingly, the top students in the advanced class unanimously agreed. In my previous life, as the class academic officer, I stopped this absurd proposal, saying that everyone should rest well before the exam and that drinking and partying would definitely affect their performance the next day. It earned Gu Qingzhou's cold expression, "You're being jealous again." The classmates sneered, "You're the most noble one, just jealous that the class monitor is nice to the class beauty." Ignoring their sarcastic remarks, I pleaded with them not to go. I even called each of them late at night to confirm they were resting at home, and the next day, I waited early at the drop-off point in the scorching heat, calling each classmate to urge them to leave early. They performed exceptionally well on the college entrance exam, but on the day the results were released, tragic news arrived. The class beauty had celebrated her birthday alone at a bar that night, got drunk, and was taken advantage of. Unable to bear the blow, the class beauty attempted suicide by cutting her wrists but survived. Gu Qingzhou received a final phone call from the class beauty and went mad. He conspired with the whole class to push me off the building, and I died on the spot. When the police questioned them, they collectively gave false testimony. She threatened us not to save anyone, saying that whoever dared to save the class beauty would not be allowed to take the college entrance exam. She was so scared of being exposed that she jumped off the building. The phone call I made to them that night, and the surveillance footage confirming the number of people at the departure point, also became evidence. In their mouths, I was cyberbullied, and crazy netizens poured engine oil on my house and set it on fire, burning my parents alive. Gu Qingzhou lived next door, listening to my parents' heart-wrenching screams, but he just stood on the balcony with his arms crossed, watching. It wasn't until they were dead that he called the fire department. It was only after my death that I learned all of this was orchestrated by the class beauty. In this second life, when Gu Qingzhou held the class beauty's hand and loudly announced, "See you at the bar tonight," I slung my backpack over my shoulder and turned to leave. This time, if they wanted to make a scene, let them. I would never again interfere with the fate of those ungrateful souls. After I died, She started a live stream, shedding crocodile tears. Although she bullied me and forbade my classmates from helping me, the dead should be respected, so I forgive her. However, I have a shadow over the college entrance exam and don't want to retake it. I've decided to study abroad instead, so I won't be able to fulfill my promise of getting into Tsinghua University. I'm sorry to let everyone down. She has always prided herself on being a beauty with brains, aspiring to get into Tsinghua University. Hearing her say this, netizens expressed understanding, praising her as an inspiring and kind-hearted female lead, and her follower count surged by 1 million overnight. As soon as the live stream ended, she rolled around with the strange man in the room, her face full of smugness. "I always cheat to get high scores. If I had actually taken the college entrance exam, I would have been exposed long ago. Luckily, I came up with this trick. Not only did it cover up my pregnancy, but it also gave me a legitimate reason not to take the exam. Originally, I had planned to trick Gu Qingzhou into coming over that night and pin the blame on him. I never expected that bitch Shenwan would ruin my plan, but it's not too bad now. Gu Qingzhou is heartbroken over me and says he'll take responsibility for me and the child." Her wild laughter scraped into my soul like a knife. I wanted nothing more than to pounce on her and strangle her, but the next second, a familiar voice rang in my ears. "Shenwan, what's with that sour face? Cece's birthday wish is for the whole class to celebrate together, and she even invited you. If you're not grateful, that's one thing, but this attitude of yours is truly disgusting. After all, She manages to rank ahead of Shenwan even while being an internet celebrity every day. Shenwan only got third place by studying herself to death. What else could it be but jealousy? You've been fawning over the class monitor so obviously, yet he doesn't even glance your way. Seeing him prepared to celebrate Lucy's birthday just broke you, didn't it?" I froze, suddenly realizing this scene was from the night before the college entrance exam. I pinched myself, it hurt, and tears instantly fell. I've really been reborn. Seeing me cry, those who had just been mocking me fell silent. Were we too harsh? She meant well for us too. She immediately burst into tears. Wan. I never thought you disliked me so much that you'd curse everyone to perform poorly on the exam. We're in the top class. How could we possibly fail just because we celebrated my birthday? Gu Qingzhou immediately stood up for her, sneering at me mockingly. "No need for your concern. We're not like you. getting so scared during an exam that you panic and run to the bathroom constantly, only to end up with such a terrible score because of a few extra trips. A mere college entrance exam is something we geniuses can handle with ease. Hearing the whole class burst into laughter, I clenched my fists, my heart aching dully. During the high school sophomore year placement exam, I was under so much pressure that my digestive system became disordered. Every time I tried to write an answer, I felt the urge to use the restroom, which frequently interrupted my focus and led to an underperformance. As a result, I didn't meet the admission score for the advanced class. After the exam, I hid alone in the study room and cried quietly. Gu Qingzhou came to find me then, tenderly wiping away my tears. I had the nanny cook some porridge to help you recover. I knew you must have been hiding away crying over this. It's okay, if you didn't do well this time, there's always the next. I'll help you with your studies, and we'll go to the same university. I thought our mutual unspoken affection would lead to a sweet ending, until Lu Shi transferred in, and everything changed. I take a deep breath and unclench my fists, ignoring their laughter. I pack up my school bag. You're right, in that case, I hope you have a good time. I didn't get angry as they expected, nor did I cry. Their smiles froze, and they lost the desire to mock me. Someone shrugged and eagerly started discussing what to drink later. Fruit wine. It's only 3%, definitely won't affect the exam. I sneered. A single glass of that bar's fruit wine is enough to knock an adult out. My dad's hospital often receives emergency patients from that bar who are suffering from alcohol poisoning. In my previous life, I tried to persuade them not to go because of this, but in this life, I no longer stop them. I put on my backpack and get ready to leave. Gu Qingzhou, however, did not show a smile of satisfaction. Instead, he kept frowning at me. Seeing that I was about to leave, he grabbed my wrist tightly. No, you have to come with us. Everyone was stunned and looked at me in confusion. What is she going to do? Not only is she a killjoy, but she also ruins the mood. Lu Shi said in a soft, delicate voice. If Shenwan goes today and doesn't do well on the exam tomorrow, and blames me for it, I'd be so wronged. Her gaze was full of wariness, as if she was truly afraid that I would follow Gu Qingzhou's suggestion and go along. If I really did go, how would she be able to pin the child in her belly on Gu Qingzhou while under the influence of alcohol? Gu Qingzhou sneered and explained, Shenwan is full of tricks. Have you forgotten last Dragon Boat Festival when the English teacher forgot to assign homework? She insisted on calling to ask for the test papers and then notified each of you one by one, ruining everyone's holiday. The classroom fell silent instantly, and many people's gazes toward me changed. I let out a self-mocking laugh. That was a mock exam from a provincial key school, which had accurately predicted many exam points last year. The teacher specifically obtained it to help everyone improve their scores. I was afraid everyone might miss it, so I notified each person individually, but it turns out, what I thought was responsibility was seen as a fault in their eyes. Gu Qingzhou raised an eyebrow. This time when she goes back, she might call your parents again and tattle on you. I finally couldn't hold back. I'm not that idle. I tried to suppress my anger. I promise I won't interfere, and I won't make any calls, okay? I just want to go home and rest, and take the exam properly tomorrow. I tried to pry his hand off mine, but he took the opportunity to snatch my backpack away. What are you doing? I exclaimed, my heart suddenly sinking. The next second, he pulled my exam admission ticket out of my bag and waved it in the air. I lunged forward, my face pale with panic. Are you crazy? Give it back to me. Gu Qingzhou held the ticket high, as if teasing a cat, his gaze looking down on me. I don't trust what you say. Now that the exam admission ticket is in my hands, if you want to take tomorrow's exam, behave yourself. Don't ruin Cece's birthday. I was so anxious that my eyes turned red, and my voice trembled. Gu Qingzhou, you jerk. Seeing the hatred in my eyes, he was taken aback for a moment, and his tone softened a little. As long as you don't tell on me, I'll pay you back. Didn't we agree to go to the same university? Of course, I'll pay you back, as long as you don't ruin Shishi's 18th birthday. I watched his confident expression, feeling my heart sink inch by inch. 18 years of childhood friendship, my future, it turns out, is not as important as Lu Shi's birthday party. I was trembling all over, staring at him intently. He avoided my gaze and announced to everyone with a light, casual laugh, the alert is over. Everyone can celebrate safely tonight. Lu Shi immediately pressed herself against him, leaning into his embrace, her voice dripping with softness. Thank you, Qingzhou. Today's birthday party is the best gift for my 18th birthday. Gu Qingzhou's ears turned red, but he didn't push her away. instead gently stroking the ends of her hair. As long as you're happy. The classmates' teasing was so loud it nearly lifted the roof. I think the best gift isn't the birthday party, but our class monitor, right? Now that you're all adults tonight, is a kiss too much to ask? Gu Qingzhou laughed and scolded, "Stop fooling around," but the excitement in his eyes was impossible to hide. I stood to the side, watching coldly, my fingers nearly digging into my palms until they bled. "Laugh, make a fuss, let's see if you can still laugh tomorrow in the exam hall." I didn't even bother to take my backpack, turning around to leave, but they clearly didn't want me to go. Gu Qingzhou spoke coldly. "Lock her in the gymnasium, we'll let her out after our gathering is over." I glared at him fiercely, struggling desperately. "You're insane, let me go." Several boys swarmed forward, tied my hands behind my back, and dragged me into the abandoned gymnasium. I was thrown heavily to the ground, my arms scraped and bleeding. A flicker of hesitation crossed Gu Qingzhou's eyes, but it was quickly replaced by excitement. He stomped on my phone, shattering it, and only stopped when the screen went completely black. "Don't be jealous for no reason, just wait for me," he soothed. "I'm the class monitor, just helping a classmate fulfill their wish. If it were your birthday today, I'd do the same. Stay right here, wait for me to come back and get you." With that, he closed the door, the heavy iron door shut, plunging the surroundings into darkness. I lay on the ground, my voice hoarse as I cried out, "Help!" I don't know how much time passed before footsteps sounded outside the door. I practically threw myself at him. "Save me." The door opened. "It's Dad." He looked panicked, rushing in and wrapping his arms around me. "Baby, what's going on? I couldn't get through to you on the phone, and when I called Gu Qingzhou, he said you were at a party. How could you possibly go out to have fun at such a critical moment before the college entrance exams? I knew something must have happened to you. I came out to look for you right away, and I never expected you to be locked up in the school. Was it Gu Qingzhou who did this? I won't let him get away with it." After 2 lifetimes, seeing my father still alive and well before me, I couldn't help but throw myself into his arms and burst into tears. Dad was so frightened he didn't know what to do. "Sweetie, don't be scared, tell Dad what happened." "I'm fine." I wiped away my tears, forcing myself to stay calm. Going to interrupt Gu Qingzhou and their gathering now would be letting them off too easily. I want to make them regret it for the rest of their lives. When my mother arrived and saw me covered in bruises, her face instantly changed, but I just whispered, "I'm fine, Mom. I don't want to go to a domestic university anymore. I want to study abroad and settle overseas with you." In my past life, I gave up the admission offer from a prestigious foreign university for Gu Qingzhou's words, "Let's go to college together," and took the college entrance exam. What I got in return was such a tragic outcome. This time, I don't want to bet again that he will really keep my exam admission ticket safe. For this college entrance exam, I gave up. Back at home, I slept in a daze until the early hours of the morning, with scenes from my past life constantly flashing in my dreams. When I woke up again, my pillow was soaked with my tears. I wiped away my tears, swapped the SIM card into my old phone, and turned it on. My social media feed was densely packed with updates from classmates, including new posts from Gu Qingzhou and Lu Shi. In the photo, Lu Shi was leaning against Gu Qingzhou's chest, looking up with a flushed face and smiling, while Gu Qingzhou wore a gentle expression. I only glanced at it briefly before noticing the pile of empty fruit wine cans on the table. After drinking so much, not to mention affecting the performance in the college entrance exam, I'm afraid some of them won't even wake up tomorrow. Some even posted videos, with everyone egging them on. "Kiss." Gu Qingzhou held Lu Shi tightly, kissing her urgently and passionately, as if trying to melt her into his very bones. I just felt disgusted and turned off the video. The latest one is a post by Lu Shi, clearly visible only to me. As soon as I opened it, unpleasant gasps filled the air. I frowned, watching the 2 entangled figures in the video. Without even looking closely, I knew it was Gu Qingzhou. Lu Shi's provocative voice, laced with gasps, taunted, "Shenwan, Gu Qingzhou said he likes me the most and will marry me once we get into university. What makes you, a bookworm, think you can compete with me?" Then, she sent a photo of an admission ticket, already torn to shreds. "I made him choose between you and me. And to show his loyalty, he tore up your admission ticket. He said this way, he won't have to go to the same university as you, and he'll have an excuse to break up with you. I really want to see how devastated you'll be tomorrow. Let me wish you an enjoyable year of repeating high school in advance. Happy senior year 4. Even though I had long prepared myself for the possibility of my exam admission ticket being destroyed, Seeing the scattered fragments on the floor still made my breath catch, and a dull ache tightened in my chest. 3 years of relentless day and night effort were effortlessly ruined by them. The sound of a phone ringing came from the living room. I opened the door to see my father looking shocked, then urgently asking, "What? A student from No. 1 high school, a senior about to take the college entrance exam, alcohol poisoning. All right, I'll go see what's going on." His face was pale, and he was sweating profusely, looking up and seeing me. He thought I was worried about my classmates and quickly reassured me, "Don't be afraid, it might not be your class, I'll go check, even if it is them, I'll make sure they recover as soon as possible, so it won't affect tomorrow's college entrance exam." Looking at my father's worried face, I remembered how in my previous life, I was concerned that my classmates might have gone drinking at a bar. The next day, I dragged my father to wait with me at the school bus stop, just in case any of them were still hungover, so my father could help quickly restore their condition. Little did I expect that in my previous life, these ungrateful wolves would unanimously claim that my father had come to threaten my classmates alongside me. This ultimately led to those fanatical netizens, under the guise of avenging Lu Shi, to come to my home and harm my family. But this time, I absolutely cannot allow my father to be dragged into this mess again. The next morning, I ate the breakfast my father had personally prepared and took a car to school. Time was drawing near, yet the bus pickup point for the college entrance exam was eerily quiet. The teacher's expressions grew increasingly grim. "What's going on? Does the advanced class not plan to take the college entrance exam?" The homeroom teacher rushed over, looking utterly exhausted, followed by a few students with pale faces. They avoided eye contact when they saw me, filled with guilt and regret. The principal's face darkened as he listened to the homeroom teacher's stammering explanation, his anger flaring up. "I repeatedly warned you all to be careful with your diet and pay attention to your routines before the college entrance exam, and what did you do? You went out drinking at a bar the night before. Now only 5 people can enter the exam hall, while the rest are in the hospital getting their stomachs pumped, and some are even in the ICU. Are you all insane? You want to ruin your own lives and burn my career to the ground along with it." His shouts caught the attention of the surrounding parents and media. "My goodness, we're even careful when cooking, yet these kids dare to drink until they're alcohol poisoned, to go out and party drinking at such a critical moment. What kind of top students are they? They're practically no different from delinquents. My child may not have top grades, but at least they know how to take responsibility for themselves. These parents of top students must be furious. In all my years in the media, this is the first time I've seen an entire class get so drunk before the college entrance exams that they couldn't take the test." Reporters raised their cameras one after another. The principal, his face ashen, roared in anguish, "I'm finished, and the school is finished too." Even the Chinese teacher, who had always favored Gu Qingzhou and Lu Shi, changed her expression. "Where are Qingzhou and Lu Shi? They were top contenders for Tsinghua University." The homeroom teacher lowered her head, her voice strained. "We haven't been able to reach him, and we've already reported it to the police." The principal staggered, his face darkening as he clutched his chest and looked at me, a flicker of hope suddenly igniting in his eyes. "Shenwan is a good kid, she didn't mess around with that group. We might still be able to secure a spot at Tsinghua this year." I lowered my gaze, feigning regret. Gu Qingzhou was afraid I'd report him, so he took my exam admission ticket. He still hasn't shown up, so I might not be able to take the exam. Thud. The principal fell to the ground. Everyone was in chaos. Some rushed him to the hospital, while others led the remaining students to the exam hall. I got into the car, where the atmosphere was heavy, and some had already started crying. "My dad is definitely going to kill me. I should never have gone to the bar. What should I do? I won't get into a top-tier university. It's all because of Lu Shi." I stared blankly out the window, listening to their sobs. "Weren't you the one who claimed to be a genius? Didn't you say the college entrance exam was just a formality? Now you're afraid of failing too, and you know how to cry." When I arrived at the test center, I was indeed turned away for not having an admission ticket. A classmate who heard about it glanced at me guiltily and whispered, "I'm sorry." After confirming that I couldn't enter, I turned and left. My father was so angry that his face changed color, feeling sorry for me while cursing Gu Qingzhou. Before we could even leave the examination hall, the situation had already escalated, with parents from the top-performing class collectively live-streaming online, issuing a joint statement to call the police and hire lawyers, demanding that the school, Gu Qingzhou, and Lu Shi be held accountable. Such a scandal breaking out during the college entrance exam period instantly caused an uproar online. Netizens flooded Lu Shi's social media accounts with vicious comments, calling her a jinx. Lu Shi, who had been missing all day, suddenly started a live stream. With Gu Qingzhou sitting beside her looking haggard, tears streaked her face as she choked up, saying, "I'm really sorry, I didn't know things would turn out this way, we just wanted to eat some cake, but my classmate Shenwan insisted on ordering drinks, saying they had no alcohol content and we could drink as much as we wanted. Although everyone got a bit drunk last night, we were sent to the hospital in time and were originally fine. It was all because Shenwan wanted revenge that she had her father, the hospital director, deliberately misdiagnose us, which led to everyone suffering from alcohol poisoning." She nudged Gu Qingzhou and said, "Aren't you her childhood friend? You can testify to that, right?" Gu Qingzhou's body stiffened, and under her urging, he raised his head, his gaze filled with struggle. Finally, gritting his teeth, he spoke, "Yes, I can testify that it was Shenwan who insisted on ordering the wine. She was jealous of Lu Shi and also envious of the talented classmates in the class. Moreover, her father is indeed a doctor at that hospital. I could hardly believe my ears. Have they gone mad? How could anyone believe such lies? Just moments ago, the parents who were shouting for severe punishment for Gu Qingzhou and Lu Shi now turned to confront me and my father, demanding an explanation." Bang, the car window was smashed, and a U-shaped lock struck my father's forehead with a heavy blow, causing blood to gush out instantly. The car came to a sudden stop, and I slammed into the windshield, my vision going dark. Deafening shouts filled my ears. "Beat these heartless creatures to death, for bullying classmates. They put my son in the ICU. I want them to pay with their lives." Immediately, other parents chimed in. "Serves them right. A doctor who misdiagnoses to cover for his daughter's violence should have his hands broken. Let's see how he can keep being a quack." I desperately shouted, "We didn't do it. Go check the surveillance footage. I never went to the bar, and my dad wasn't even on duty last night." Dad endured the intense pain and crawled in front of me, shielding me beneath him. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." My tears wouldn't stop, and I cried out with all my heart, "You've been deceived." My phone lit up with a text from Gu Qingzhou. "I'm sorry, Wan. Lu Shi comes from a poor family, and if she gets sued, she's finished. Your family has money and can afford to pay, so we had no choice but to pin it on you. Once you get through this, we'll repeat the year together and go to university, okay?" I smiled bitterly. So that's how it is. Lu Shi couldn't afford to compensate, so those parents simply took advantage of the situation and turned their accusations toward me. Just because my family is wealthy, they thought they could take a big bite out of us. "Gu Qingzhou, you bastard, you deserve to die." The parents dragged me and my blood-covered father out of the car, kicking and punching us. Someone raised their phone and started a live stream. Soon, Lu Shi and Gu Qingzhou, far away on the other side of the screen, saw it too. Lu Shi breathed a sigh of relief, leaning into his arms and cooing, "Thank you for saving me, Qingzhou." Gu Qingzhou forced a smile, yet couldn't hide the guilt and panic in his eyes. "As long as you're okay, I'm willing to do anything for you." Just as chaos erupted, my mom rushed in and dispersed the parents. Mom stood in front of us, shouting angrily, "Don't you dare touch my husband and daughter." She raised her phone, her voice cold and resolute. "The ones who truly harmed these candidates are Lu Shi and Gu Qingzhou. I've already posted the evidence online. If you don't believe it, go see for yourselves." As soon as the mother spoke, the parents were taken aback. Immediately after, everyone lowered their heads to look at their phones. Playing on the screen was the surveillance footage from the bar last night, focused precisely on what they had referred to as the party room. In the footage, classmates come and go, but my figure never appears from start to finish. "My daughter never went to the bar at all, so how could she have forced you to order drinks?" Mom's voice was calm, yet every word was firm and resolute. The comments section of the live stream fell silent for a few seconds, and the tide of opinion began to waver. Lu Shi's eyes flickered, and in the next moment, they reddened as she whispered, "This must be her scheme." She had already thought of using the surveillance footage to clear herself, which is why she followed us to the bar last night but refused to enter the private room. However, it was indeed her who asked Gu to order those drinks. She suddenly pulled a small receipt from her pocket. "Look, this is the receipt from last night's drink order. The card used here is indeed Shenwan's." Gu Qingzhou then spoke up, his voice so steady it seemed as if he had been prepared all along. "Yesterday she followed us to the bar but refused to go inside. When I went out to find her, she handed me the card, saying it was to apologize to Cici. She said it was all fruit wine, no alcohol content." He took out his phone and showed a chat record. "Also, this is a text message from Shenwan's dad, asking if Shenwan was with me. I even replied, saying Shenwan was with us last night. All the evidence is right here. I watched them perform in perfect harmony with a cold gaze. My backpack, he took it, my card is in there too. Now, he's using my money to celebrate someone's birthday, only to turn around and dump all the blame on me. In the crowd, the parent whose child was in the ICU was the first to react, their face turning ashen. What a premeditated scheme, and you dare to shift the blame. My son nearly lost his life. You beasts will pay for this. His furious roar ignited chaos. The parents surged forward in an emotional frenzy, a chaotic mix of accusations, angry shouts, and frantic questions. I crawled out of the car door, trembling all over, yet I still raised my phone. I've already called the police. They'll be here any minute. I looked up, my gaze fixed on the live streaming camera, and spoke with unwavering resolve. Do you think there's no surveillance of what happened in the classroom yesterday? I knew all along that you would try to frame me. I recorded everything that happened yesterday. Now, I'm going to post the video. Let's see how you try to spin this. Yesterday, the moment I realized I had been reborn, I immediately and discreetly pressed the screen recording button on my phone. Although Gu Qingzhou later broke my phone, fortunately, all the videos had already been uploaded to the cloud drive. I opened the video, selected the clip I had edited last night, and pressed send. Almost simultaneously, the sound of police sirens echoed in the distance. The live stream was still on, and as soon as the video was sent, everyone saw what had actually happened in the classroom last night. I tried to stop them, constantly urging everyone not to go to the bar. But I was mocked and ridiculed by my classmates. Then, Gu Qingzhou snatched my exam admission ticket, arrogantly threatening me. After that, he directed the group to push me into the abandoned gymnasium, and the moment the door slammed shut, it was crystal clear. In the video, his words to Lu Shi were even preserved. Don't be jealous for no reason. I'm the class monitor, just helping a classmate fulfill their wish. If it were your birthday today, I would do the same. Be good. I'll come pick you up in a bit. Every detail, exactly as it happened, without any omission. Netizens instantly exploded. Damn, from the tone of this, is the guy testifying the girl's boyfriend, and he locked his own girlfriend in the gym to celebrate his mistress's birthday. The next day was the college entrance exam. If the girl hadn't escaped, her whole life would have been ruined. This is destroying someone's future. The key point is that her exam admission ticket was taken. Since the guy didn't go to take the exam, did he even return the ticket to her? It looks like the girl couldn't take the exam, right? Damn, are these people insane? The public opinion has completely shifted. Lu Shi panicked, her voice trembling. It's fake, that's edited. I have classmates who can testify. Qingzhou, say something quickly. But Gu Qingzhou's face was deathly pale, staring at himself on the screen, unable to utter a single word. In the end, he raised his hand and abruptly cut off the live stream. The moment the live stream ended, the public opinion in the comments section had already completely boiled over. All the voices of abuse, the apologies, and the justice that spoke up for me finally surged in like a tide. I let out a long sigh of relief and hugged my father, who was covered in blood and had collapsed into my arms. The ambulance finally arrived, and I followed the paramedics as they helped him onto the vehicle. Behind me, the police had already begun to control the parents who were causing trouble. Everything is over. I had been standing for so long, and finally, I let go of my strength. Everything went black before my eyes, and I lost consciousness. When I woke up, a full day and night had already passed. The group of classmates who had alcohol poisoning also woke up, staying in a collective ward not far away. Cries echoed one after another, with parents all squatting at the door, each looking utterly devastated. I walked past the door in my hospital gown, and everyone instinctively averted their eyes. A few who usually got along well with me approached with their heads lowered, their eyes red-rimmed, and said, "Shenwan, I'm sorry, we shouldn't have ignored your advice. If only we had left earlier that night. Wah wah wah, it's all Lu Shi and Gu Qingzhou's fault. They were the ones who insisted on dragging us there and forced us to drink." A classmate couldn't help but retort. "Didn't you say you wanted to try drinking for once? Now that something's happened, you're blaming everyone else." Lu Shi and Qingzhou meant well. It was you who insisted on drinking. How can you twist the truth like this? I listened to their argument and sneered coldly. They still didn't know that Lu Shi did it on purpose, but it didn't matter. Soon they would find out. I was just about to leave when I suddenly heard someone exclaim, "Ah, quick, look, Gu Qingzhou and Lu Shi are live streaming." A few seconds later, everyone turned to look at me with complicated expressions. They said that yesterday, you made Gu Qingzhou put on a show with you to frame Lu Shi. They also said you'll be live streaming an apology later. Someone shouted excitedly. Who's really lying? Who should be held accountable for us? I glanced at him indifferently, my voice as cold as ice. Who forced you to drink the alcohol? You ruined your own college entrance exam, and now you're blaming others. His face flushed red, and he was left speechless. At that moment, my phone rang. The caller, Gu Qingzhou. I stared at the screen, my gaze darkening. Does he really think I would be willing to take the blame for him? I answered the phone with a cold expression. Gu Qingzhou's voice came through, choked with emotion, as deep as the sea. Wan, Lu Shi and I are truly at our wits' end. If we can't resolve this matter, we won't even be able to take the college entrance exam next year. Can you bear to see us like this? He paused for 2 seconds, then added, didn't we agree to go to college together? If I take the blame, I won't be able to retake the exams with you. I laughed and asked him, what about me? You want me to take the blame for you, but what am I supposed to do? I've already missed the college entrance exam this time. If I get dragged down by you again, my whole life will be ruined. Have you ever thought about that? He said it so casually. Your family has money, right? Just spend a little to calm the public opinion. Isn't that enough? If you really can't take the college entrance exam and can't go to university, it's okay, you can go to a vocational college, and I'll work hard to support you. Alright, I let out a cold laugh. Then why don't you let Lu Shi take the blame? You support her, how could she compare to you? He said gently, thinking I was jealous. Her dream is Tsinghua University. How could I let her dream be shattered? Besides, the person I like the most is you. Actually, last night, I was planning to confess to you on the way home, but I finally couldn't help but laugh, cold as a knife. Your so-called like is locking me in the gym and not letting my parents find me. Was it tearing up my exam admission ticket, or making that disgusting video with Lu Shi to upset me? The voice on the other end of the phone paused, sounding weak. You, how did you know? Who told you? That was all fake, Lu Shi, and I didn't. She sent it to me herself. My voice was calm. Should I forward it to you for a trip down memory lane? He was completely speechless, and I hung up the phone. Within seconds, a barrage of text messages flooded in. Wan, I'm sorry, Lu Shi and I were just drunk. I accidentally damaged your exam admission ticket. I've already talked it out with Lu Shi. As long as we help her get through this, she won't bother me anymore. Aren't you always concerned about my relationship with her? Now that she's gone, I belong only to you. Okay, in an hour, start a live stream to clarify things, and we'll be together, okay? I looked at these messages and smiled. A live stream will indeed be started. The other side immediately sent a string of I love you emojis and sweet words. Gu Qingzhou, of course I will go live. However, taking the blame, you're thinking too optimistically. An hour later, I started the live stream, the incident where the entire class of top students went to a bar before the college entrance exam, got alcohol poisoning, and missed the exam has long attracted nationwide attention. The live stream instantly attracted millions of viewers, facing the camera. I slowly began to speak. Hello everyone, I am one of the individuals involved in this incident. I am here to tell you the truth about what really happened. As soon as I spoke, the barrage of comments exploded. Some said I was the real culprit, and they started spamming the screen, like hired trolls. They kept posting one after another, trying to convict me, but there were also rational voices speaking up for me. If she really did it, why would she tear up her own admission ticket? She can't even take the college entrance exam. Isn't that ruining her own future? Gu Qingzhou initiated a video call, and I accepted. He looked at me, his eyes filled with guilt and deep affection. I said calmly, let me play a recording for everyone. His face instantly turned pale. Shenwan, think carefully. Once certain words are spoken, there's no going back for us. Same old trick, trying to threaten me, but this time, I won't be soft-hearted again. Recording begins. First, Gu Qingzhou threatened me not to call the police, and then I used technical means to hack into Lu Shi's social media account, uncovering her chat history with a certain man. I can't actually take the exam, all my grades were copied. If I fail, my reputation as a top student will be ruined. Pretend to be sick, that's too low class. I want to drag down those self-righteous top students who usually look down on everyone, especially Gu Qingzhou and Shenwan, if they both get into university. How am I supposed to get close to Gu Qingzhou, the rich second generation? There were even more explosive details about how she and that man plotted to make Gu Qingzhou take the fall, but I kindly deleted them. This grand gift is better left for Gu Qingzhou to discover on his own. as the truth gradually came to light, the atmosphere in the live stream room completely exploded, the barrage of comments flooded the screen. With the noise growing louder and louder, holy shit, this is just too vicious. Lu Shi's persona has collapsed more thoroughly than an earthquake. The heart-wrenching sounds of crying and cursing also came from the next ward. Lu Shi, you bitch, Gu Qingzhou, you bastard, you made me miss the college entrance exam, I won't let you get away with this. The live stream ended here. I closed the connection and looked out the window, feeling an unprecedented sense of calm. During this time, many classmates sent me messages saying they wanted me to take the lead and help them fight back against Gu Qingzhou and Lu Shi. They've done this to you, and you really don't plan to get back at them. I smiled. I know exactly what they mean. It's nothing more than thinking my family has money, wanting to use my parents' influence to kill with a borrowed knife. I can't be bothered to respond. After the Lu Shi incident was exposed and she was scolded into quitting the internet, she still had the nerve to text me. Do you think you've won? Gu Qingzhou is still mine. You still have to retake the exam, right? Next time for the college entrance exam, I'll make sure you can't take it again. I didn't reply. Her good days are still ahead. Gu Qingzhou's messages kept coming, initially accusing me of betrayal, then turning into apologies, confessions, and promises. I'm sorry, Lu Shi is pregnant, I have to take responsibility for her. But after the child is born, we can take the college entrance exam together and start over. Okay, I only replied with a screenshot, an admission letter from a prestigious foreign university. No need, from now on, you and I are worlds apart. He never replied to me again. 4 years passed, and I graduated as the top student in my major, earning a direct Ph.D. qualification, returning to China to prepare my materials. I heard many old stories. That year, the entire rocket class was wiped out. Even the few who barely managed to take the college entrance exams only just passed the first-year cutoff, and all of them had to repeat the year. Lu Shi used her pregnancy as an excuse to give up on repeating the year, staying at the Gu family's home and forcing him to take responsibility. Gu Qingzhou reluctantly took on the burden, but as a result, his parents were so angry they ended up in the hospital and cut ties with him. He barely scraped by on odd jobs and Lu Shi's live-streaming income. And when he repeated the year the following year, he only managed to get into a second-tier university, but in his sophomore year, he accidentally discovered that Lu Shi was still flirting with her top fan. He exploded on the spot and had a huge argument. Lu Shi sneered and said, I thought you were a rich second generation, but you got kicked out of your home and have to rely on me to support you. A useless man like you isn't even fit to be my child's father. I'd better take the child and go find my big brother. He even said he's willing to divorce for me. Gu Qingzhou, in a fit of rage and loss of control, got into a physical altercation with the top donor, ultimately landing in prison for intentional assault. I heard he has been behaving well these past few years and is about to be released. As for Lu Shi, she was cornered by the top donor's wife and beaten so badly she ended up in the hospital. After hearing all this, I simply smiled faintly. Are you done? I need to catch my flight. As the plane took off, I looked back out the window. In this lifetime, I have finally, truly lived for myself. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. In the college entrance examination hall, I did my best to answer all the test papers. The barrage of comments exploded at this moment. No way. The class beauty has a theft system. She's had her eye on you for a long time. Yeah, you're giving it your all to answer the questions, but in the end, you're just doing the hard work for someone else. I raised an eyebrow, ignoring the barrage of comments in front of me and continued answering the questions. The moment the college entrance exam results were announced, the class beauty was stunned. In my previous life, I believed what the bullet comments said. Driven by the mentality that if I couldn't get into a top-tier university, I would drag the other person down with me. I, who usually scored 700 points, only managed 350 points in the college entrance exam. As a result, I missed out on a top-tier university, while the class beauty got her wish and was admitted to Tsinghua University. I was confirmed to have cheated, suffered online bullying, and died from depression. It wasn't until after my death that I learned I had a rebound system. Anything that was stolen from me would automatically be doubled and returned to the other party, while my original score remained unchanged. So my score of 350 points, after being doubled and rebounded, became 700 points. Opening my eyes, I found myself back to the day before the college entrance exam. Tomorrow is the college entrance exam. I wish everyone success in the exam and admission to their dream universities. A familiar voice reached my ears, making me look up involuntarily toward the direction of the sound. The homeroom teacher stood on the podium, smiling as she looked at everyone. On the blackboard, in the upper left corner, the countdown to the college entrance exam was boldly written in chalk. 1. At this moment, I was trembling all over with excitement. I had truly been reborn. Reborn to the day before I scored only 350 points on the college entrance exam. What should I do? The closer the exam gets, the more nervous I become. Nicole, you're a top student, you're definitely going to Tsinghua this time. I'm not the same. My deskmate looked full of anxiety, and before I could respond, the classmate in the front row spoke up. What's there to be anxious about? Look at our class flower. The teacher is speaking up there, and she's still doing practice questions down here. With such hard work, who gets into Tsinghua is still up in the air. After the front row finished speaking, the class flower, Lucy, spoke up. I'm not that amazing, I'm just cramming at the last minute. Besides, Nicole has always been at the top of the class. She's the one who's definitely getting into Tsinghua. The same scene had played out in my previous life. Back then, I had taken the class beauty's words at face value. Now, looking closely, it wasn't hard to see the cunning and determination in her eyes as she watched me. Nicole, you usually score around 700 points in mock exams, so you'll definitely get a similar score in the college entrance exam, right? In my previous life, I also thought I was bound to succeed. Seeing the class beauty working so hard, I never slacked off either. Even the night before the college entrance exam, I was still writing furiously. However, upon entering the exam hall, just as I was about to pick up my pen to write the answers, lines of bullet comments suddenly appeared before my eyes. They told me that Lucy, the class beauty, has a theft system and has stolen many good things from classmates before, and this time she has set her sights on my college entrance exam score. They even said that Lucy's theft system only has one last use left. They said she is inherently malicious, and if I help such a person get into Tsinghua University, she will do things in the future that endanger national security. So, even if I score low this time, I cannot let her get what she wants. After all, I missed this year's college entrance exam, but I can always try again next year. I believed what the bullet comments said and deliberately controlled my score. Normally capable of scoring 700, I forced myself to keep it at 350. But unexpectedly, after the college entrance exam results were announced, I was the only one who scored 350. Not only did Lucy score 700, but she also successfully got admitted to Tsinghua University. Back then, she proudly flaunted it to me, basking in the star-like treatment, all while not forgetting to put me down. She asked me sarcastically, "Didn't you usually do well on exams? How come you scored so low on the college entrance exam?" She questioned whether my reputation as a top student was earned through cheating during regular exams. I desperately tried to explain that it wasn't true, hoping the homeroom teacher would step in to vouch for my innocence. The homeroom teacher said, "Nicole, think carefully. Did you really not cheat? You've been sneaky during every exam. I've tapped your desk to remind you several times. But what about you? You came to my office privately, threatening to die, so I could only turn a blind eye. Now, the college entrance exam, like a mirror, has revealed your true nature. It's only natural." The homeroom teacher's words confirmed that I had been cheating all along. Later, Lucy posted this video online, causing me to be cyberbullied into depression. I jumped from the building, and my soul saw Lucy staring at my body, saying to the homeroom teacher, "That little bitch is finally dead. Now we can rest easy, given a second chance at life. I will never repeat the same mistakes again." As Lucy stared at me and asked, I looked at her with full confidence and said, "Of course. I'm definitely getting into Tsinghua." Lucy laughed even more heartily. "Then I wish you get what you wish for." However, I changed the subject and said lightly, "I don't want to go to Tsinghua. I'll just aim for a score of over 500. I want to apply to a local normal university. After all, my parents don't want me to go too far away." Seeing me say this, Lucy instantly panicked. She couldn't care less and directly questioned, "Nicole, you're the top student in our class, the expected top scorer in the college entrance exam, and a promising candidate for Tsinghua or Peking University. If you let yourself score only a little over 500, how many people would be disappointed?" Because of her excitement, her voice was loud and sharp, drawing the attention of the surrounding classmates, who all turned to look at her. Realizing something was off, Lucy softened her tone. "You wouldn't be trying to find an excuse for yourself in case you can't get into Tsinghua, would you?" I smiled without saying a word, then lowered my head to work on practice questions. As a result, because of my earlier remarks, Lucy would come over to persuade me whenever she had a chance. She told me that being the top scorer in the college entrance exam could bring honor to the family, and how sacred institutions like Tsinghua and Peking University were. Finally, I nodded and said, I understand, I'll work hard. Seeing that she had finally convinced me, Lucy breathed a sigh of relief. She even offered to treat me to lunch, to test both our systems. I declined her offer. No, I'm on a diet lately. I've already lost a full 5 pounds. Can't you tell my chin has gotten much sharper? The barrage of comments grew anxious again. The class beauty's theft system only has 2 uses left. Originally, she intended to steal the 3 pounds another girl had lost, but with Nicole saying this, she's likely to shift her target. TSK. The class beauty is about to lose 5 pounds without any pain. Ignoring the barrage of comments in front of me, I leaned in a bit closer. Lucy indeed scrutinized me carefully, realizing that I had indeed lost weight. Her eyes filled with envy. It's true, you've lost quite a bit. I wasn't lying. Recently, due to stress and loss of appetite, I dropped from my original 95 pounds to 90 pounds. Lucy was already very thin, weighing only 82 pounds, yet, because she idolized the pale, young, and thin aesthetic, she would often pinch her waist in front of others, saying she was too fat and needed to lose weight. If she really had a theft system, and I had a double rebound system, then she wouldn't just lose 5 pounds, but 10, for someone who only weighed 82 pounds. Suddenly losing 10 pounds would have predictable consequences, sure enough. When Lucy returned to the classroom after finishing her meal, everyone was taken aback. Several of her close friends gathered around her. Lucy, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell somewhere? How did you lose so much weight all of a sudden? Yeah, your complexion looks so pale too. Lucy, you can't lose any more weight. If you get any thinner, it won't be healthy or look good. Lucy didn't realize the seriousness of the situation at all. Instead, when she heard her classmates praise her for losing weight, she was so happy she couldn't stop smiling. Have I lost weight? That's good. I was too fat before. What's healthy or not healthy? Being fat is what's unhealthy. After verifying her system and mine, while she was shooing away the surrounding classmates, I also walked over to her. Lucy, you've lost so much weight. You look so much better now. Those who say you can't lose any more are definitely just jealous of you. Lucy's expression changed, and she said with a dark face, of course, it must be like that. Thinking about what happened in my past life, that night, I secretly went to the homeroom teacher's office door. I accidentally saw more of the hidden secrets between my homeroom teacher and Lucy from my past life. Seeing everything, my entire body trembled. Before I could process it, the homeroom teacher's voice came from the office. Who's there? I gasped for breath and immediately turned to walk toward the corner. The moment the office door opened, a stray cat meowed and darted past the doorway. At that moment, Lucy whispered, Teacher, is someone outside? Who is it? The homeroom teacher glanced at the stray cat and said to Lucy, No one, just a stray cat. Seeing them close the door again, I deliberately took a shower to avoid drawing attention before returning to the dorm. The moment I opened the door, the other people in the dorm looked at me with strange expressions, even making sarcastic remarks about me. I wondered how some people could always score first on every test. Turns out they have their own methods. Shameless. I really thought they were a top student, but it turns out they're just a thief, stealing someone else's achievements and still feeling justified in thinking you're a top student. Good thing tomorrow is the college entrance exam. I can't wait to see how you'll be exposed. I didn't understand what was going on, but I didn't want to be wronged for no reason, so I asked, What do you mean? My roommate sneered. You know exactly what I mean. If you have the guts, perform well in tomorrow's college entrance exam and show your real results. Let everyone see whether you're a true top student or just a fake. Don't go around boasting that you can score 700 points, only to end up in a vocational college after the exam. They were talking back and forth, and I instantly understood. It seemed that Lu Su was worried I wouldn't take the exam seriously tomorrow, so he brainwashed my roommates to provoke me. I smiled, not taking it seriously, and said, Don't worry, I'll definitely do my best tomorrow and show you whether I'm a real top student or a fake one. But at that moment, Lucy walked over to me, placed a hand on my shoulder, and said with a half-smile, Nicole, where did you just go? When Lucy asked that, I did feel a hint of timidity, but I quickly regained my composure. I went to take a shower. Lucy looked me up and down. A shower? Did it really take that long? I nodded. Yes, the college entrance exam is tomorrow, so I took a shower to relax and washed my hair too. on the other hand, you weren't in the dorm when I left. Where did you go? Lucy snorted. I'm not like you. I still have time to take a shower. I'm going to go do some practice problems. Early the next morning, I was woken up by Lucy, from getting up to washing up, and then rushing to the exam hall. Lucy watched me walk into the exam hall as if she was afraid I would run away, and only then did she turn and enter her own exam hall. Just like in my previous life, as soon as I picked up my pen to answer the questions, the bullet comments started popping up. I didn't pay attention to the barrage and instead buried myself in answering the questions. After finishing the exam in one go, the barrage became even more heated. Oh no, she filled it all out. Even though I'm a poor student and can't tell if her answers are correct, she wrote everything out smoothly in one go, so she must have gotten them right. Ahem, I consider myself a top student. I just watched every word she wrote, and she should have answered everything correctly. Don't be afraid. Maybe she's taking a shortcut. If she gets a perfect score in this subject and zeros in the others, it's still the same. Despite the heated arguments in the bullet comments, I ignored them and glanced at the time. Thanks to my memories from my past life and the fact that I knew all the answers, I was able to complete the test quickly, so I raised my hand and asked the proctor, "Teacher, can I hand in my paper now?" The proctor, who had been watching us, showed a hint of surprise on her face at my words. "Classmate, are you turning in your paper now? Have you finished writing?" I nodded affirmatively. "I've finished everything." The proctor couldn't believe it, adjusted her glasses, and walked over to me, and I confidently showed her my fully written exam paper. The proctor's face showed no particular expression, merely glancing at the time and saying, "There are still 16 minutes left. Please wait a little longer." I nodded and said, "Then I'll trouble you to notify me when it's time to hand in the paper." After speaking, I tidied up the pens I had brought with me, then lay my head on the desk to sleep, quietly waiting out the remaining dozen or so minutes. Time passed quickly. I had only dozed off briefly when I heard the proctor's prompt, "Students who wish to submit their papers may do so now." I sprang to my feet and was the first to hand in my exam paper to the proctor. Just like that, I became the first person to walk out of the examination hall. As usual, a group of reporters was waiting at the entrance of the exam hall, ready to interview the first student to emerge. They all gathered around me as soon as I came out. "How do you think you did on the exam? Were the questions on this year's college entrance exam difficult?" "Classmate, you finished so quickly. You must have answered everything correctly, right? Which university are you aiming for?" I answered their questions one by one. I did very well on this exam. The questions weren't difficult for me, but I can't speak for others. As for the university I want to attend, of course, it's Tsinghua or Peking University. After finishing his words, all the reporters present couldn't help but sigh in admiration. He's actually a top student, truly remarkable. Some people in the crowd also recognized me. "Isn't that Nicole from Class 1, Grade 10? This girl is amazing. I heard from my daughter that she always ranks first in every test." A potential candidate for Tsinghua or Peking University. That's right, although my daughter isn't in her class, she often mentions Nicole's name to me, saying she always comes in first. Truly impressive. Upon hearing the parents' comments, the reporters grew even more excited. They surrounded me and asked many more questions before finally letting me go. I knew that this matter was bound to escalate. When I got back, this news indeed made it to the trending topics. Many netizens, after watching the interview and learning that I had performed well in the past and was a top student, expressed that they wished I were their daughter. Some netizens even asserted that I was undoubtedly this year's top scorer in the college entrance examination. For the following exams, I followed the same routine as the first one, picking up the pen and writing immediately, completing the test paper at the fastest speed, and being the first to leave the examination hall. Being the first once might be a coincidence, but being the first every time was something they had never encountered before. As a result, my online popularity kept rising, and I became the top trending person, consistently ranking in the top 3. You should know that in my previous life, the first person to walk out of the exam hall and be interviewed was actually Nicole. At that time, she was certain she would be interviewed. So she dressed in a pure and cute style, wearing a beautiful white dress, confidently facing the camera. She stated that her goal was to get into Tsinghua University. Because of her good looks, elegant and confident demeanor, she quickly gained popularity online. This time, I watched her, all dressed up, being overlooked because she fell behind me, and smiled with satisfaction. Lucy was quite angry because I had stolen the spotlight, but I ignored it all. After finishing all the exams, the homeroom teacher gathered everyone back in the classroom to estimate their scores. I didn't expect that the first name the homeroom teacher mentioned would be mine. Nicole, you're the student with the highest scores in our class's regular tests. How many points do you estimate for this exam? Before I could even stand up to speak, Lucy was the first to start with her sarcastic remarks. Nicole, I never expected you to be so low-key in daily life but so arrogant during exams. You're always the first to hand in your paper. Could it be that you don't know the answers? I know, you realize you won't do well on the exam, so you want to make a splash during the college entrance exams. By gaining fame this way, you could become an internet celebrity and still manage to make a living. Don't worry, when you start live streaming in the future, I'll definitely rally the whole class to send you tips. After saying this, Lucy laughed to herself. From the smug look in her eyes, it was clear she was confident about acing this college entrance exam. I smiled faintly. Do I need to repeat these words, whether it's to the media or to you? My answer remains the same. I am definitely going to Tsinghua. After saying this, I turned to the homeroom teacher. Teacher Jason, the exam questions weren't difficult for me. I think scoring at least 700 points shouldn't be a problem. The homeroom teacher adjusted the gold-rimmed glasses on the bridge of his nose, his excitement clearly visible in his eyes. He didn't rush to draw a conclusion about my words. Instead, he turned his excited gaze toward Lucy. The two exchanged a glance, their faces beaming with the joy of victory. But soon, the homeroom teacher withdrew his gaze and turned to look at me. The smile that had been on his face vanished at that moment. He took a deep breath, slowly walked up to me, and said coldly, Nicole, do you still have no self-awareness at this point? Do I need to remind you how you achieved those high scores on your usual tests? Some people actually have very little substance in their minds, yet they speak with such a grand tone. The homeroom teacher's face from my past life, when she publicly accused me of cheating, overlapped with her current expression, almost suffocating me. I clenched my fists tightly, knowing that once the truth was revealed, they would be doomed. Moreover, I had also uncovered their secret, so I asked, Teacher Jason, what do you mean by that? Faced with my questioning, the whole class held their breath. They looked at me, then at the homeroom teacher, also wanting to know the answer. Teacher Jason's expression grew even more unpleasant as he said, Do you really not know why you usually score so high on exams? At this point, he looked at everyone and said, Classmates, since everyone has already taken the college entrance exam, I won't keep it from you any longer. Nicole is a fake top student. The real top student is Lucy. After every test we took, Nicole would secretly swap her exam paper with Lucy's when the teachers weren't in the office. As soon as these words were spoken, the previously quiet classroom instantly erupted into chaos. No way, Nicole is actually so shameless, swapping Lucy's exam paper. I always saw Lucy studying so hard, and I wondered why she only scored so little on the exam. Some people are so desperate to be top students, they've gone completely mad, even doing something like this. It's truly disgusting. Everyone grew more and more agitated, and before I knew it, someone took the lead, crumpling paper into a ball and throwing it at me. Just like that, the items in front of the students turned into weapons aimed at me. I shielded my head with a book, but the things they threw still hit me painfully, after they had thrown everything in their hands. Lucy finally stood up, choking back sobs. Everything Teacher Jason said is true. Lucy's closest classmate even said indignantly, Lucy, you've suffered such a great injustice. Why did you only speak up now? Do you know how many people have been saying behind your back that you're just a pretty face with nothing inside? Lucy's hands clenched tightly into fists at that moment, and many classmates lowered their heads guiltily upon hearing this. And I insisted, You're talking nonsense. I never swapped exam papers, whether it was regular exams or the college entrance exam. It was all my real ability. The homeroom teacher sighed. Nicole, how long are you going to keep deceiving yourself? Everyone here is on our side. It's okay to admit it, otherwise, when the college entrance exam results come out, it'll be a real joke. Seeing the homeroom teacher continue to steer the narrative, I retorted, Mr. Jason, you claim I swapped Lucy's scores in the regular exams. Do you have proof? Please show the exam papers I supposedly swapped and let the whole class examine them. If you can't produce them, then you're slandering me. The homeroom teacher stood on the podium, looking somewhat uneasy. The previous exam papers were disposed of right after you finished the test. I shrugged, since there aren't any. Then it's a false accusation. Teacher Jason, don't think that just because you're a teacher, you can do whatever you want. As soon as the words were spoken, Teacher Jason's expression turned extremely unpleasant. This matter ultimately came to nothing. What I didn't expect was that this video was still edited and posted online. It showed the homeroom teacher accusing me of cheating on regular tests, once the video was released, coupled with the title, Nicole, the top student who went viral in the college entrance exam. It quickly climbed the trending charts. After watching the video, netizens unleashed a torrent of abuse. Fortunately, I had the foresight to delete my personal social media accounts, preventing them from finding me and launching personal attacks. However, I overlooked one thing. When they couldn't find me, they dug up my parents' information and started criticizing me in the comments of their social media accounts, to avoid affecting me. My parents bore the burden alone, even encouraging me time and again, hoping that these matters wouldn't affect my mood. I know that the weak will only be defeated. I must become strong to overcome my enemies. The day to check the results arrived quickly. Just like in my previous life, the homeroom teacher gathered everyone in the classroom, brought a laptop, and together we witnessed the moment of truth. The homeroom teacher suggested checking by student ID, but Lucy spoke up at that moment. "Teacher Jason, why not check my grades first? Have you forgotten what Nicole said last time? She claimed she didn't cheat. Let's check my grades first," and make her open her eyes wide to see for herself. After these words, other classmates chimed in, expressing their agreement. The homeroom teacher complied, entered the exam registration number, and clicked to check. The moment to witness the miracle was finally about to arrive. Like the other students, I stared intently at the computer screen, holding my breath. However, the moment the enter key was pressed, Lucy's score did not appear. The classmates present all voiced their confusion. "What's going on? Didn't the officials say the college entrance exam scores could be checked? Why haven't they shown up yet? Maybe the network is lagging." "Teacher Jason, try again." The homeroom teacher tried more than twice, but still couldn't display the grades. He then casually took another student's admission ticket, entered the number, and the grades appeared. "I get it now. Usually, high scores like those of the top scorer in the college entrance exam are all kept confidential." Yeah, Lucy must have scored high, and that's why her grades weren't released. As a confidential result, the worry on Lucy's face turned into delight as she looked at me triumphantly and said, "Teacher Jason, hurry up and check Nicole's." The homeroom teacher nodded and entered my exam number. But again, nothing showed up. Lucy couldn't hold back her laughter this time. "Nicole, could it be that you scored 0, so it can't be found?" The other classmates joined in the teasing. "Exactly, it's impossible that Lucy's high score is kept confidential, and you, a cheater, are also kept confidential, right? I think it's 0 points." Even the system was shocked by this unprecedented score, so it didn't display it. What a top student. It's just ridiculous. Just as everyone was laughing uncontrollably, the score query interface refreshed, and my score appeared. The total score shows 715 points. Lucy, who saw this scene, couldn't laugh anymore, and the others fell silent as well. Everyone rubbed their eyes repeatedly, and Lucy exclaimed in a shrill voice, "How could it possibly be 715 points? She should have gotten 0 points." I seized the opportunity to ask her, "0 points? How could it possibly be 0 points? Even if I'm a poor student, I couldn't possibly get every single question wrong. Maybe you should check yours again." The other students nodded in agreement. "Yes, Teacher Jason, you should check Lucy's score again." Teacher Jason complied, his expression serious as he went to check Lucy's score. As Teacher Jason typed in the exam registration number, Lucy's expression grew increasingly tense. The moment the enter key was pressed, the score refreshed, in front of everyone. All eyes saw that in Lucy's total score column, it read 1430 points. Someone exclaimed in shock. 1430 points, how is that possible? Even the total score of the college entrance exam isn't that high. Is this a bug? As soon as the words were spoken, the interface refreshed again, and Lucy's total score, originally 1430, instantly dropped to 0. This time, Lucy could no longer hold back and screamed, "Impossible, how could I possibly have scored 0? The one who scored 715 should be me. I am the top scorer in the college entrance exam." As she said this, she lunged forward, tightly gripping my neck. "It's you, isn't it? You're the one behind this, right?" I was choked to the point of gasping for air, while she continued to grit her teeth and angrily scold me. "I know, it was you who cheated, you stole my score." I pushed Lucy away fiercely, who was acting like a ghost, and finally managed to breathe. Lucy looked at the surrounding classmates and stammered, "You all know, I'm the top student. I couldn't possibly score 0, I know, Nicole comes from a good family. It must be that her family used some means to change my score like this." The homeroom teacher also seemed to snap back to reality and chimed in, "Lucy is right, Nicole comes from a well-off family, and people with money have immense power. Who knows what tricks they might be playing behind the scenes, with the teacher leading the way in making false accusations. The other students nodded in agreement. Teacher Jason is right. I've also heard that Nicole's family is very wealthy. If they really wanted to spend money to pull strings, it wouldn't be impossible for them to swap the exam papers behind the scenes. Some classmates also retorted, impossible, the college entrance exam is so strict, even if his father has immense power, he couldn't pull off such a big move. But we've all seen how hard Lucy works. Unless she intentionally handed in a blank paper during the exam, it's impossible for her to score 0, there must be some trickery involved. After going around in circles, they turned their suspicious gaze back to me. I raised my phone and announced to everyone, I've already called the police, the truth will be determined once they arrive. The police arrived quickly. Seeing them appear at the doorway, Lucy and the homeroom teacher immediately stood up to accuse. They pointed at me and said, arrest her quickly, she cheated on the college entrance exam. Several police officers glanced at me, then looked at Lucy. They then walked up to Lucy and directly handcuffed her. Student Lucy, is that you? You are suspected of cheating on the college entrance exam. Please come with us. Lucy struggled desperately. You've got the wrong person. She's the one who cheated on the college entrance exam. You should arrest her, the police officer said calmly. We haven't made a mistake. We are arresting you, the cheater. Come with us. Just as Lucy was about to be taken away, the homeroom teacher stepped forward. Officer, we can testify that our classmate Lucy did not cheat. Other classmates also nodded at this moment. Yes, we can also testify that Lucy did not cheat. That's right, the one who cheated must be Nicole. In the usual tests, she stole Lucy's results and pretended to be a top student. Seeing so many people accusing me, the police officer began to hesitate. They looked at each other and finally said, all right, let's make a call and confirm with our superiors. After saying that, the leading police officer immediately dialed a number and walked out of the classroom to communicate with his superior inside. Everyone nervously stared at the officer's back, while I remained as calm as ever. The officer quickly finished the call and, upon re-entering the classroom, repeated, we can confirm that she is the person we need to take away. The bullet comments, silent for a long time, exploded once again at this moment. What's going on? Why are the police arresting Lucy? Didn't you hear what the police said? Lucy is suspected of cheating on the college entrance exam. Have you forgotten? She has a system that steals other people's scores, and she didn't perform well herself. Probably something went wrong this time, and they pulled out the exam papers for verification. When they saw that the scores didn't match the papers, they gave the real scores. Wait, did Lucy really hand in a blank paper to reap the benefits? If that's the case, this score-stealing system has a bug. It only stole the scores, not the content of the exam papers. I glanced at the bullet comments and had to admit they were spot on, except they missed one detail. Lucy stole my college entrance exam scores, but instead of losing them, they were doubled and bounced back to me, with a total score of over 1,400, unprecedented of course. It naturally caused a stir among the higher-ups, who re-verified the results. However, just as the police were leading Lucy to the door, they received another phone call. The police officer who had just finished the call looked grave as he took out the key and unlocked Lucy's handcuffs. I'm sorry. I was told it was a system error, no one cheated. Lucy rubbed her wrist and stopped the officer. It's impossible that no one cheated. Check her. Her grades must be suspicious. I stepped forward with a smile and said to the officer, Officer, I'd like to report something. As I spoke, I opened my phone and played the scene I had witnessed in the teacher's office that night. In the video, Lucy was sitting on Teacher Jason's lap, her arms wrapped around his neck as she coquettishly pleaded. Teacher Jason, don't worry, I have a hacking system, so I'm definitely going to be this year's top scorer in the college entrance exam. As for that bitch Nicole, once I steal her scores, she'll end up with a big fat 0. Teacher Jason, you have to keep your promise, okay? When the results come out, you have to help me testify and accuse Nicole of cheating. Tell everyone that I'm the real academic genius. We are all adults, and with the two of them behaving ambiguously and intimately. All the classmates understood what was really going on. No way, our teacher Jason and Lucy. Oh my God, this is a bombshell. I always wondered why the homeroom teacher was so nice to Lucy. I looked at the police officer and then produced other pieces of evidence. Besides reporting teacher Jason for failing to uphold the dignity of a teacher, I will also sue Lucy for defamation and infringing on my personal rights, as well as for inciting public opinion to launch personal attacks against me. These are all pieces of evidence that she exposed my videos online without my permission and used public opinion to incite cyberbullying against me and my family. The police took my phone and examined the IP information I had been tracking over the past few days, along with the screenshot evidence. Alright, we will investigate this matter thoroughly. As he spoke, he turned to Lucy again and said, "Student Lucy, we'll need to trouble you to come with us for an investigation into this incident. In addition, Teacher Jason, right, since this matter has already been brought to the attention of your school's leadership, I believe the school will surely ensure justice for student Nicole and handle this matter seriously." The principal and the dean, who had been standing at the door watching the commotion, were called out by name, their expressions turning extremely unpleasant. However, they still nodded to indicate that they would handle the matter seriously. The situation escalated quickly, and within just a few days, almost the entire school was aware of it. After the school leadership investigated the ins and outs of the matter, the Education Bureau directly fired Teacher Jason and permanently barred him from re-employment. But the story doesn't end there. After Mr. Jason was fired, Lucy's family didn't let him off the hook. Lucy's family sued Mr. Jason, accusing him of seducing their daughter. However, since Lucy was already an adult, and given that it was a consensual relationship, although Mr. Jason's behavior was morally questionable, it was not illegal, so he did not go to prison. Lucy's family was not satisfied and appealed again, but the result remained the same. They had no choice but to confront Teacher Jason at his home, demanding a large sum of money, and secretly hired someone to break one of Teacher Jason's legs. Lucy was arrested for this incident but was released after only a short period of detention. As for what happened later, I didn't follow up anymore, because Tsinghua University extended an olive branch. 4 years later, I successfully graduated from university and, on my teacher's advice, stayed on to pursue a master's degree. That summer vacation, I finally had time to go home, and on the way, I saw a middle-aged man who looked like Teacher Jason. He was unshaven, his clothes were tattered, and he was dragging a burlap sack behind him, limping as he walked. I was sitting in the car, and he didn't see me. His eyes were fixed intently on a nearby trash can. At every trash can, he would passionately rummage through the garbage inside, as if treasure hunting. Seeing Mr. Jason in this state, I also wondered how Lucy was doing now. I asked my desk mate, who then told me what had happened to Lucy. It turned out that after Lucy was released back then, the incident flared up again. Her family was too ashamed to send her back to repeat the year, so they kept her at home and even arranged for her to go on blind dates at one point, hoping to marry her off early. Unfortunately, as the incident gained attention, she became the target of online bullying. She refused to go on blind dates, and hid in her room all day, muttering to herself. Every day, she would talk to the air, claiming she had an exchange system and insisting that she was the one who should have been the top scorer in the college entrance exam. Her family couldn't handle having such a madwoman around, so they had no choice but to send her to a mental hospital. But even in the mental hospital, she didn't settle down, chattering non-stop to the doctors and nurses. She told everyone that she had an exchange system and claimed that this system was a fraud. She kept asking why her score was still 0 when she had clearly used the system. She also said that she had used 30 years of her lifespan to exchange for this ability with the system. When my desk mate reached this point, she couldn't help but complain. What system or not, I think she's read too many novels and messed up her brain. Things that only happen in novels could never occur in real life. I smiled without saying anything, because I knew it was true, but I had no way to prove it for her, so I asked, what happened later? Did her condition improve after she was admitted to the psychiatric hospital? My desk mate sighed. How could anyone be okay after going to a place like that? I heard it's really painful inside. Even if you don't have a mental illness, they'll treat you until you develop one. Her family is truly ruthless, but for someone as despicable and shameless as her, it's just karma. By the way, I heard she was in there for 2 years and suddenly died on her 20th birthday. It's been over 2 years since she passed away. I was a bit surprised that Lucy's life had been so short. Looking up, the barrage gave me the answer. I know why Lucy died so early. Her lifespan is only 50 years. She exchanged 30 years for the system, leaving only 20 years. Dying at 20 makes sense. Holy shit. Holy shit, what kind of devilish system is this? That means even if she successfully exchanged and really got into Tsinghua, she would still die young at the age of 20. After hanging up the phone with my desk mate, I couldn't help but sigh. Indeed, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Yet, I made no promises in exchange for the system. I think my system might be a bug. a joke played by fate. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section, looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.